guess we are here. Well, hello, folks. Welcome back to another episode. You're coming back. I know you are coming back to see what we've been reading, what we've been playing, what we've been listening to, and a bunch of other cool stuff. The illustrious gentleman before me is...
I'm Dr. Marc.
And I'm Elmer, and we are...
Marc and Elmer's PSI Piano Scene Investigations.
Yes, absolutely. And welcome back, folks. You know, do you remember our first time we did this? Do you remember how we used to keep screwing up the intro?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you want to get a good laugh, go back to episode 1 and 2 or 3. You'll listen to us go, he's Marc and Elmer, or I'm Elmer and Marc, or we're, and then...
We're a little bit better at some stuff.
Yeah, so we finally got ourselves in sync here.
We do not tout ourselves as technical gentlemen, I mean...
Yeah.
We grew up before most of this stuff existed.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, so... Anyways, we're all new to this stuff. So, you know the old MO, okay? If you enjoy our company, you enjoy our program, you enjoy our topics of conversation, please go below the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your neighbors and friends and co-workers all about us. If they're piano fanatics or interested in piano music or just the conversation in the company. I think we've proven ourselves to be, jolly gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So anyways, before we get started, I'm going to give our little pitch for Corey. Now, this is an old bottle of the Corey piano polish. Okay. This is not the actual size of the bottle anymore. I used to have the new size, but it's sitting in my wife's car right now. So, but I haven't found a better polish so far than the Corey piano polish. Now, once again, you have an unfinished wood. Here's the lemon oil. Be sure to grab it and polish up that piano. Stay away from furniture wax on the piano because it tends to
build up.
Yeah. Okay.
You need the real oil to enliven the wood and keep it healthy.
Yes, absolutely. So.
Oh, what do you think?
A work in progress.
Take the birthday cake.
Oh, your birthday? Oh, that's right.
We're not doing Witched Kitchen today. That's not what this is about. My birthday was last Friday, and I don't know about where you guys are, but we had a cold snap last week. Us did a good part of the country, but we almost broke records. I saw that if it had been as cold as it got for 2 more days, we would have tied 3 days. We would have broken the record set in 1873, something like that, for frigid cold weather. We had -degree weather every night with wind chills and stuff. I know people had it worse in other places, but it was bad enough here. But anyway, everything, more than not, most things got canceled last week. School shut down and all kinds of stuff. My birthday was last week on the 30th.
Yes.
By then, things had started to move and open up a little bit. Literally, you weren't allowed to go around until, I think, Wednesday up here.
Yeah.
Because the snow level emergency precluded anybody except emergency vehicles being out on the roads up here. But anyway, I went to rehearsal last night with the Minor Corps and Dominant Corps, and my friend Barbara Lehmann, who's the wife of my very dear friend Rudy, she made me a Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte, Black Forest cherry cake.
Wow.
And it's a very light, chocolatey kind of cake.
Yes.
Not an American style. A little bit lighter flavor and very delicate in a way.
It is.
And it's got really creamy layers of cream on the top and in between. And then she's got cherries, which are soaked in cherry liqueur. So it's a little alcoholic.
Oh, boy.
So in case you get a little wee.
Well, we could use a little wee in our program every once in a while. On our more exciting days, though, we could We're more we and less alcohol. So you wouldn't know.
Laura won't eat it because she's not big into sweets, and she definitely don't like alcohol.
Oh,
So it was a full-size cake, and I've been eating on it since Tuesday, but I thought you might like some.
oh, I haven't met cake that I didn't like.
Anybody that comes to the house is welcome to a piece of cake.
Yeah, did you take pictures?
I know, but it was beautiful.
You're breaking my heart,
Yeah,
Mark.
it was beautiful.
It was a beautiful cake. It was a
Did
large
you show it
cake.
to him?
It was a large
Kinda
cake.
show
You
him in
figured he'd
detail.
take a picture with the thing. Here. Isn't that beautiful? Oh gosh, it's gorgeous. I would have loved to see what it looks like in full size. You know.
Right. Barb is an amazing cook and a baker. She made a huge box of homemade chocolate chip cookies for her husband's birthday from the previous week as well.
Wow.
To pass out. She makes killer chocolate chip cookies. They're perfect. Not too sweet, but nice chocolate and that kind of taste in the cookie part that's just exactly right. You know?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's not overpowering. It's not in your face. It's the subtlety of it makes it attractive.
Yep.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
I didn't mean to interrupt with that.
That's
but,
all right.
But we got. Well, you were. I really did interrupt you though about the cake. So I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. Oh, are we on? Oh, we are on.
We did that already.
Oh, we did.
See, I told you there's a lot of alcohol.
Oh yeah, there's an on-alcohol.
Those cherries.
Well, I just got enthralled with the flavor of it. It's delicious, Mark. Thank you for that slice. Rinse the palate just a bit. Okay, so I'm back to practicing again after having shoveled a 1.5 feet of snow in front of our house.
Ooh.
Kathy and I live in a court, and of course the whole court was completely covered, buried, however you want to put it. And it was way more than 1 foot of snow. I'm sorry. That was way more than 1 foot. I mean, I'm happy for the people that live in our court. We all helped us out to unbury ourselves. We dug up most of the driveways and most of the court itself. By the time we got done shoveling half the court, the snow was this high.
Yeah.
Piled. When we moved it over to the side, we still, have this much snow on our, by the curb in front of our house.
Hasn't really
So-
begun to thaw yet, so
No, it hasn't.
those mountains are still there.
Oh yeah, they are still there. We were very careful to not bury our mailbox, so everything's covered except the mailbox in our driveway and the front door and the sidewalk.
Was Chewy enjoying it?
Chewy, Chewy loves this.
Yeah.
Chewy will. As a matter of fact, I have not seen our dog Chewy more active all year until it snowed.
He's a Grand Pyrenees, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a Great Pyrenees, at least one half Great Pyrenees. The rest of him is, I think, Husky or Gold Lab, and the vet says there might even possibly be a little bit of wolf because of the way his eyes are.
Wow.
So,
You sleep with one eye open a lot of the time?
well, he's actually a very
I know, he's a very sweet
amiable
dog. Yeah.
dog. He's he's wonderful with kids. I don't think he's ever snapped at anyone except for maybe 2 or 3 people that I know in my life.
I'm sure I'll get, people do respond.
So,
With reptiles, however, I don't care how sweet and how kind and gentle they are. If there's a crocodile or a massive lizard or a boa constrictor somewhere in the house,
yeah.
I'm sleeping with one eye open.
Oh, God.
I just don't trust him.
Oh, gosh. Okay, folks. If you are born today, February the 5th, 2026, you share the same birthday as one Ellen Mercier,
Mm-hmm.
Canadian pianist, born in 1960, and is still alive today. Still alive today. Now I looked. Did you look her up by
I
chance?
didn't, but I took your word for it.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that
all right.
comment. Okay.
It's all right.
All right. Well, anyways.
If you want to tell them. This show is not made for children.
Okay. Well, anyways, I did look her up. If you Google her or look her up on Wikipedia, there's one photo of her in Wikipedia, and well, she does bear quite a resemblance to Olivia Newton-John.
Oh,
Oh yeah, she's a very attractive young lady. Today she's I think she's
65.
65. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
She can still be
but she
attractive.
still looks good though. She still
Yeah.
looks good. Her most of her performances have been mostly partnerships with Louis Lorty and Capuçon,
Mm-hmm.
the violinist. So she's played the role of assisting artist many times, but her playing is very lovely. She has long fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, those suckers are like this.
Wow. Is she tall? Does she
Well,
appear to be?
on video she looks tall.
Hmm.
On video she looks tall, but those fingers, wow! I would imagine they could span a tenth easily.
Wow. Good
Her
for
tenth would be more like my octave. I mean, she looked very comfortable up there.
Huh.
The one video I was watching was her and Louis Lorty. They were performing a 2-piano version of the Don Giovanni by Liszt.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was quite good. It was
Ooh.
quite good. Check it out sometime. It's on YouTube. It's quite it's quite a work. It's been done a few times. The only other recording I've been familiar with is with the Lubeck sisters.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they did it years ago. I think they just came off the competition circuit and were traveling the world. So
You know those, where are they from? Georgia or something? I don't mean America, I mean Russia.
Russia, Georgia. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The Bunyadishvilis or whatever?
Yes.
Those two sisters?
Oh yeah.
They're very engaging. Yeah. Actually, the one is primarily famous.
Yeah, Katya.
She's
Katya.
she's a good musician.
Oh.
Well, she's a great pianist.
Oh yeah, she's a wonderful
and I think a very
pianist.
sensitive musician.
I believe she was one of the big time winners from the Arthur Rubinstein competition.
Yeah, she's a big time pianist.
Oh god. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's very big time. I would imagine that on the traveling circuit, she would give Yuja Wang even the
Oh yeah.
a run for her money.
Well, that was the thing with these ladies. Sometimes if they get really good, the designers like to hang their clothes on them.
Oh yeah.
And to make quite a fashion statement. Clearly, Yuja, my God.
Oh yeah.
She's just like super modern mode, right? Have reminded me of Anna Sophie Mutter.
Anna Sophie Mutter.
She used to wear, I think it was Dior dresses.
Yeah.
Is that, or Christian Dior or whatever?
Yeah.
I think it was Dior. But she was rather famous for that back in the day. Usually it was the opera singers that did that stuff,
Yeah.
but then there's a few ladies that got, kind of smart, probably a bit savvy in terms of their career, media-wise and stuff. She was also married to a surgeon, so they had money.
Sophie Mutter?
She was married to a brain surgeon or something like that. German surgeon, right?
I don't. She
Yeah.
was married to
Yeah.
Andre Previn.
Was she?
She was.
Well, the last I knew, I thought she was married to a surgeon, and it was kind of sad because her husband died. And she went through a pretty heavy period of mourning. But anyway, yeah, she wore lovely dresses. And then, I mean, one of my favorite recordings of Beethoven sonatas by anybody is her with
Lambert Orchis.
Lambert Orchis, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful performance.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of them, but
Oh, absolutely.
I just really like the lady so much. But anyway, yeah.
Okay. So, these past few weeks after we finished shoveling,
Oh, the snow.
Yeah, shoveling the snow. Oh, yeah, shoveling the snow.
I wonder what we were shoveling here.
Yeah, shoveling snow. And I have to admit, it wreaked havoc on my piano technique, shoveling all that snow. But it had to be done.
Yeah?
The scales were like...
Oh.
So, but they're back again. And so they're back again. Thank God. And I did some reviewing of the Moonlight Sonata. I've almost got the whole thing memorized. And I started reviewing the Pathetique Sonata. You know, and I figured, you know, I'm doing this because I would imagine all those big-time pianists who compete, or, you know, the old veterans of the stage, they could probably perform those pieces at the drop of a hat if somebody requested it. You know, so, I mean, why not? Okay. And it occurred to me that I've listened to so many recordings of these works, and particularly the Pathetique Sonata. I remember there being a big debate as to repeat the exposition or to not repeat the exposition. And if you do repeat the exposition in the Pathetique Sonata, where do you take the repeat back to? Mark, you have any opinions?
Me?
Yes, I'm going to go to the professor right here.
Well, I'm looking at the Schenker edition.
Okay.
And it has first and second endings at the end of the exposition, and it goes back to the Allegro molto in terms of the double bar with, you know,
the repeat.
with the repeats. I have, however, seen editions and read that, and I've got some recordings. Some pianists go back and play the Grave as part of the piece. You know, this style with the slow introduction, and then the Allegro comes in, is very old classical, and it probably goes back farther. Speaking off the top of my head here, so I can't think of the examples necessarily. But, well, I mean, actually in Baroque stuff, there's oftentimes like a little overture or something like that, and then it launches into the big thing. And Haydn does that in some of his earlier works, symphonies, even the string quartets. I think in a way, this thinking, you know, culturally what was going on, they start playing and everybody's still talking, they're not listening. Yeah. So it's like, you know, softer, quieter, all this.
Get them comfortable.
And then finally they break into the real thematic material with the fast stuff. Well, clearly, I mean, the way Beethoven starts is boom!
Yeah.
Ta-dum! Ta-da-dum! Well, because there's a transition then after the exposition where he does a little bit of the Grave.
The Grave material.
And technically, is it a bridge or is it part of the development? You know?
Yeah.
And at the very end of the recapitulation, he ends on this F sharp minor 7th chord, and goes to the Grave, right? Ta-dum, ba-da-dum, and finishes with the Allegro con brio.
Yes.
For that reason, I think he's showing both with this intro into the development section and in the recapitulation, little tail end of it is the Grave followed by Allegro con brio. I think it's totally appropriate to do the Grave in the recapitulation.
Absolutely. Yes.
I think it is.
A lot of the recordings I used to listen to as growing up didn't do that.
No.
And my first encounter of somebody actually repeating back to the Grave was Rudolf Serkin.
Yeah?
He repeats back to the Grave. And it was an eye-opener. Because here I am listening to Rudolf Serkin, you know, expecting, you know, that he was going to either move on, to the next part, or go back to the Allegro con brio.
So presumably Schnabel goes back to the Allegro. Schnabel doesn't repeat the Grave, right?
He doesn't. I
don't remember.
I don't remember. We'll have to go look. I'll go find out.
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
But if Serkin does it, then I think, you know.
Circuit, yes. Circuit.
Serkin is like one of those Old Testament prophets. You know, you just the guy walks with such authority on the ground. You know, you just don't question him.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, God love him. So, anyways, yeah, Rudolf Serkin was the first one, and my impressions was that he was either going to, first time listener, he was either going to go to the second ending and play the grave material there, which is in G minor.
The original. It's in
The
C
G minor, the second. No, I mean the exposition when going into the development, the second ending.
I don't know.
I think it's in G minor. I believe it's in G
Go ahead,
minor.
go ahead.
But anyways, so I'm listening, and I'm thinking he's going to take. I'm betting he was going to take the second ending, and then I hear what I thought was a second ending, but and I thought, but that sounds like a C minor chord.
Uh-huh.
The first time I hear it, and even before that, I hear the G7 chord, and so G7. So naturally, I thought he was just going to go back to the Allegro con brio, right? And I like that material, anyways. But surprisingly, he goes back to the beginning of the grave. It's amazing.
I think that the way it's laid out as we talk,
Yeah.
there's a great argument for the grave is part of the exposition.
Yeah.
Because it's unless. But, I mean, this is opus 10, what is it, 13? He's not that far along, at least in his piano sonatas, breaking down forms yet.
Yeah.
And that stuff happens later on.
Later, yeah.
So the idea somehow that the grave going into the development is some kind of a bridge, there wasn't
Or an
kind
interlude.
of a concept yet in classical structure.
Yeah.
The sonata is pretty disciplined form,
Mm-hmm.
and in the hands of various composers remains identical to later Haydn all the way through the 19th into the 20th century in some cases.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of those cases where he's incorporating it as necessarily part of the whole thing. I also think it adds a lot of drama to it.
Yeah. This brings back some memories of mine back in high school. I was in those one of those state soul ensemble competitions at the UMEA, and a fellow pianist of mine, he was a year older than I was, decided to play the Pathetique sonata, the first movement, and apparently it was the second time he was going to play it there. I guess he didn't like the rating he got the year before or 2 years before, and I'm sorry, judges need to be a little bit more, well, at least this judge. Okay, most of the judges I like very much. They were human. Okay, but this particular judge, let's just say, if you're listening to a student, a high school student playing the Pathetique sonata, and he decides to take the repeat of the exposition all the way back to the grave, you do not tell him in front of a whole audience of people that you don't take it back to the grave. You just don't do that.
If I were the kid, I would have had the balls to say, but Rudolf Serkin does it.
I know. But I wasn't sure if he was familiar with the Rudolf Serkin.
Probably not.
But
good for him.
Yeah.
Maybe he did know what he was doing. You know?
So.
But the fact that he even repeated it.
Yeah.
Because in some cases, people just, maybe for the sake of time or whatever, they don't do the repeats. But
no, they don't. Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Definitely the repeating the exposition, okay?
Yeah.
In the older sonatas, there's a repeat of the development and the recapitulation as well.
Yeah.
Because it's an A-B form, which is repeated, right?
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, it's an A-B form. I'm not sure what to say what it comes from, but eventually, well, in the hands of Beethoven or Schubert, for God's sakes, the development kind of starts to spread out.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've got interesting recapitulations, because sometimes, I think it isn't at Schubert, sometimes he'll use a theme from the development in the recapitulation,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
in many cases, then the repeat of the development recapitulation isn't even there. It's not even written down. But some of the older sonatas, like about Haydn stuff,
Oh yeah.
and I think even Mozart too, there's a double bar with a repeat
Yep,
song. It's
there
at
is.
the end of the whole first movement.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think you need to take the exposition.
The exposition,
Because that's
yes,
just
at
part
least.
of the way it opens up. Now, the interesting thing is Bilson would say, and other people in performance practice, especially like with Mozart, even in Beethoven, sometimes I've done it in Beethoven,
Yeah.
the repeat allows you to do something different.
Yes, it does.
You know, you can improvise or certainly ornament or do certain kinds of things that are maybe a little different. Now, from a 19th century perspective, I mean, one of the things I admired about Larry and what I would also sometimes do, I think, I took the exposition repeat of the Brahms First Sonata.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in there, and you just simply bring out other voices, right? Things that you didn't highlight the first time, right?
Yeah.
So there's always something to do, and historically and in terms of the structure, I think it balances it, especially as the sonata develops a little bit more in Beethoven and Schubert. If you don't repeat the exposition, it's like the whole exposition, which is supposed to be the head of the sonata, more or less, right?
Yep.
The controlling part of the whole thing ends up being like it's on like one of those cartoons like I remember in Popeye when something happens to Bluto
Yeah.
and he's got this huge body and this little tiny head
Yeah,
on top of his
yeah.
shoulder. It kind of feels like that because you don't take the repeat of the exposition. You know? So
Yeah.
I'm blathering about
Oh, that's okay. No. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. I mean, I'm sure, like I distinctly remember back when I was in high school. So we're talking 1979 to 82, okay? That it used to be a heavily debated issue about repeats, particularly in the Pathetique Sonata.
Oh, I can
Particularly
imagine.
in that one.
Yeah.
Because most of the repeats you heard went back to the beginning of the exposition, not the grave. Okay, so, but anyways, maybe some of you viewers out there will have something to say about that. Like I said, comment below or give us
And remember, we have comments available at the YouTube page.
Yeah.
And we also have a Facebook page, which is Marc and Elmer's PSI.
Yes.
And you can also go there and we'd like that to be more of our forum.
Yeah.
I have to be honest. Are you taking care of it?
Mark,
Facebook
you know
part?
me and
I have been a little bit remiss in dealing with some stuff in the last couple months, but
Okay.
because I was so busy and
all right.
I got sick and everything. But I noticed that on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
it was like the last show that I'd even put up on the Facebook page from
Yep.
our YouTube channel was way before Halloween. So, sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, that's
but I did take a look at it just recent week or so and kind of tried to get everything more up to date.
Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, like I said, I was reviewing some Beethoven sonatas because I have my sights set on trying to learn the Appassionata eventually.
Ooh.
So that's the
Me
one that's going to
too.
be on
That's
the
one
list.
that I'm-
So,
Looking at it quite seriously.
and I'm still looking at the For a Ballade. So
Oh, yeah?
I'm just about
And how's your Beethoven 32 variations?
32
You
variations.
still doing those?
Yeah, I'm still doing those.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's part of the concert?
That's part of the
Mhm.
the performance. So I was thinking, Haydn Fantasy in C major,
Uh-huh.
Beethoven C minor variations, For a Ballade,
Mm-hmm.
then intermission, and then let's see the Griffiths, Pleasure Dome,
Ooh, Kubla Khan.
and then the Chopin Novel Etudes,
The Trois Nouvelles Etudes.
and we close with Mephisto Waltz at the end.
Woo!
Hopefully. Cross
Yeah,
your
I'll-
fingers, folks. Cross your fingers.
The first Mephisto.
Yeah, the first
There's
Mephisto.
what, 4 of them?
There's
or
4 of
something
them.
like
Yeah, that's an interesting topic right
Yeah.
there. The number 2 was thought to be lost for a while.
Huh.
And even some of the old books on Franz Liszt have it labeled as being lost. But eventually, it was discovered. And I got to see one of the earliest performances of it live, right there in Findlay, Ohio.
Really?
Yes, one of the earliest performances.
Who did it?
Who did it? It was done by a Polish-American pianist, Alan Kogosowski.
Huh.
Look him up, folks.
Oh.
He was quite the pianist back then.
Mm.
And he's probably still is, but he's known. He's renowned for putting together so-called lost pieces, and he's even put together a possibly Chopin's third piano concerto that was supposed to be completed but was never finished. He's also, let's see, he's also arranged a couple of the Rachmaninoff trios for piano and orchestra as well.
Wow.
So yeah, he's a busy man. He competed at the Van Cliburn competition not too soon after the Findlay performance. I got to see him, do.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
Was that good? Then?
Yeah, he was. So he competed, and we all know who won. It was Andre Michel Schub, and then the second place winners was Santiago Rodriguez, and he shared the second prize with pianist Liris.
You know what I remember about Schub? I wonder if you have the same memory.
Yeah.
I mean, I can look this up and find a little bit
Yeah.
of biographical information, which I probably put up before,
Yeah.
because we mentioned him in a recent, even the first show this year
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
something like that. Yeah.
But I associate him with more traditional Viennese classical repertoire, remembering Beethoven and things like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, was he a big Liszt player?
Let's
and all that kind of stuff?
Well,
I remember.
let's see. At the competition, he did perform the Dante Sonata.
Oh, well, okay.
He did the Dante Sonata, and he did some of the. Well, I only know of the Paganini Etude Number 2
Wow.
of Liszt as well.
Okay.
Those are the only two I know
Well,
he did.
of course he would have had
So-
to play some of that stuff, but
Yeah.
I ultimately, for some reason, I remember seeing him on PBS, I think, for
Yeah.
performances and stuff.
Yeah.
It was difficult to watch him play because of the facial expressions
Mhm.
and physical tension. Ellsworth would have hated all of that. He said, Rachmaninoff was like watching a dead person play the piano.
Yeah.
There's no expression. Just he said maybe once in a while the eyebrow would go up a little bit or something.
Yeah.
But he said what was coming out of the instrument was gorgeous fireworks, all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
This old kind of school where you just play the music.
Yes. Yes. Well,
But-
remember, he had quite the supporting advocate from Harold C. Schoenberg.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
That's true. So anyway, let's get off that topic.
Okay, sure thing.
Yeah, we can pass it. Down.
Okay.
He's never one of my favorite people. But no offense to the guy. He was
Okay.
great.
All right. So recently, Upper Arlington's library once again had their book sale.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh. The boys aren't here
Yes.
still.
Yes. So
I think the cold weather, for whatever reason, Dimitri and Igor just decided to stay in Cyprus.
perhaps
They still haven't even. I haven't even heard from them. So,
Oh.
but I'm sure they're watching the weather news.
Yeah.
And Dimitri probably says, "Shit, we stay here."
We stay here. Yes. So, folks, if you've been with us since the beginning, then you know what's coming up here. Marc and Elmer's High Plains, or PSI's.
Yeah, it's a PSI.
PSI's High Plains
Thrifter.
You figured it out. Get this right.
You know the thing that I miss?
What?
Well, Clipchamp changed recently with Microsoft.
Okay.
In some ways, I think that they've got some better things with it. Of course, they've introduced AI stuff, which I'm not using.
Okay.
It tries to make suggestions. I go away. Go away. I'm doing this. Even when I first paired the audio file with the video this first time, that was all me. But the soundtracks, all the music that we used, like I was listening to Witch in Kitchen for a Halloween show. It was called The Gypsy Cowboy.
Yeah.
None of that stuff is available now. It's all gone. Remember the popcorn one?
Yeah.
That one and the typing one with all pieces considered and all those different things. None of that music is available anymore. I've had to go in and change all of the theme music for the different sections, find new stuff.
Okay.
I think it's okay. It's interesting because my understanding possibly is there could have been some copyright issues. And so Microsoft or whatever just said,
Well, it's all evolving, I guess.
Well, and the other thing I'm wondering is if all this new available music is AI generated.
Oh, that's
I don't know that.
Possibility.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
But that would be one way of getting around copyright stuff because human beings didn't do it. And so long as somebody that working for Microsoft created the stuff, then they probably own the rights to the.
Yeah. Well, who owns the rights to AI?
Well,
So.
Anyway, my apologies because we can't use the old song for. High Plains Drifter anymore. Yeah, so we had to use this new one.
That's a bummer, but it's okay.
But we did get to wear hats.
Yeah, we did get to wear hats. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Talking about all that incidental music we used for these programs, it had occurred to my mind since everything's changing. I was thinking that maybe we could rearrange the theme to our show for piano trio.
Ooh.
I knew that would.
You know, violinists and cellists that can play.
Yeah, find a cellist and a violinist to play with us. Yeah. Could you imagine at the end?
Interesting. I've been thinking about that. Of course, we do still use the same music for introducing our show, and I think it's good because it's. It's a tag people recognize and all that. But I've been in correspondence. I'd mentioned him. I think I've mentioned on the show. I'll shut up right after this. Norman Powell, my violin friend and mentor. Yeah. He was priority violinist for nearly 30 years. Yeah. And kind of took me under his wing, and I studied chamber music with him, and then we did stuff together. For a few years, we performed after my master's degree and my doctorate. We did things together. It was wonderful. He was a wonderful musician. Well, you guys remember, I think, in the first show, is that the one where I also mentioned the correspondence with Malcolm Bilson, I think?
I think so.
And then when I looked up Norman's name, just to see where he was and find a little biographical material, I knew stuff myself, but it said that he died this year, 2026, and I wrote to his son, Eric, who's a good friend of mine, through Facebook. And I said, I am so sorry to hear about your dad. I was talking about him on the show, and I looked up, and the AI thing said that he died this year. This is typical Eric, ironic humor. He wrote back and he said, I think my father would be really surprised to hear that because he's still alive. You want to find out what he said? You want to find out? Well, did you get a reply from his dad? So what he did, he gave me his dad's email, which I had. Yeah. But Norman has moved now to live with his son and daughter-in-law up in... it's his daughter and son-in-law up in Maine somewhere. Okay. State of Maine, God. Yeah. Went from Tucson or Allens Park, Colorado, up to Maine. Of course, he spent years in Wisconsin, so... But... he sent me a really nice letter, and I decided not to write this one. It was a little personal, but he said, I'm 96 years old. Of course, I still remember you, and all. Said nice things. I wrote him back and said, so there's a little correspondence going on between us. But why did I mention this? Oh, because, we were talking about... lost track. No kidding. Had something to do with... Oh,
AI.
I know why. I know
arranging
why.
and
In this
Bible.
last email I sent to him, I told him about our show.
Yeah.
Because he said he'd seen some things on the internet about me,
Yeah.
some different stuff in recent
Yeah.
years, and was glad I was active and doing things. And I told him about our show, and I specifically recommended our Halloween one, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Then I thought I'd better watch it, just to see, because I love all the things we did with it. It's
Oh
so much
yeah,
fun.
it was wonderful.
And introduced Witch and Kitchen and all that stuff for the
Yeah.
first time. I was wondering what Norman would think when he hears that music that I put in for the tracks for the Halloween show. Not your theme music.
Yeah, Witch and Kitchen.
No, for the whole thing.
Oh, those.
Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow! It's gonna boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's like really like scary rock piano music or something kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I was wondering what Norman would think. What the hell happened to that? He used to play such beautiful Brahms, and now he does this shit. Again, this is not for kids.
Yeah.
That word's allowed.
Yeah, that was allowed.
Okay.
Okay, we're good with that. We're good with that.
So anyway,
Oh,
we're
that's
just
okay.
having fun.
Okay.
Okay.
So, folks, welcome to PSI's High Plains Thrifter.
I got stuff
And
too.
you got stuff too? Okay, well, this will go quick. So, the pickings were rather slim this year.
Uh-oh.
But I did find these 2 CDs.
You're talking about the library thing?
Yeah, the book sale over at Upper Arlington.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had it again. So, and
This is a rich people part of Columbus, so, when you go to the thrift store or the library store or something, you're going to find extra good stuff at a place like that.
yes,
right?
this place was well. Usually they do, but like I said, this time around, the pickings were rather slim. I found a couple CDs here. Have you heard of Freddie Kempf?
No.
No. Okay,
Is it
no
spelled
relation. It's KEMPF.
Oh, one F.
Yeah, one F. And Freddie is spelled FREDDY. Okay. And I have heard of him.
Oh.
I have heard of it. He competed in the Tchaikovsky competition. I don't know which one.
No relation.
No relation
But it
to
doesn't spell the
Wilhelm.
same either.
No relation to Wilhelm. But no, he took silver medal at this competition at the Tchaikovsky.
Wow.
And it was controversial because the audience thought he deserved gold.
Wow.
And so people walked out of that Moscow conservatory shaking their heads and scratching their heads and wondering what happened here. I do not recall who the first place winner was. Okay, but Freddie Kempf actually came out, career-wise, a winning career after that. Everybody clamored to hear him some more. After his winning the competition, he went on tour, and he came out with I think the complete Prokofiev sonatas.
Yow.
So he came out with that. He also came out with a Schumann CD. Both of them are from the BIS label, BIS. BIS label.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Now, interestingly enough, his chosen piano is the Yamaha. At least back then. So you're talking about roughly 20, 25 years ago. Okay. I don't know if the Yamaha is still his chosen piano, but back then that was his chosen piano, and he traveled with it. The thing traveled with him. But here, I was surprised to find this recording of him, and I just snatched it up for $1. It is from a BBC music magazine. Okay, and it is a recording of the Goldberg Variations.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's a wonderful recording.
Is he British?
He is British.
Ah.
He is British. He's interestingly enough, at the right angles, some of the camera shots of his profile, he kind of looks like my baby brother. he does. He even combs his hair like him.
Wow.
It's the odd thing enough. But so I wonder if he has some, possible Asian ancestors or something.
You know, I played the Yamaha, what do they call it, the CF3 or whatever it is, the concert grand,
Yeah.
many times.
Yeah.
It's a very nice piano. In
Yeah.
fact, I played one, I don't know, it was a 7-footer concert grand, but at the church where my academy
Yeah.
did the recitals this January, because I ended up playing for those 20 singers. There's a really nice, big Yamaha grand. It was really nice sound all the way through, lovely tone, you know, good bass as you'd expect, and nice singing upper range and all that, without it being glassy or painful. I don't know. I think maybe my opinion would be I think it's better than it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm talking as old as I am, the
Yeah.
way it used to be.
Yeah.
They were a little. I mean, Yamaha's always, I think, a good piano,
Yeah.
but I think they're a little more boxy
Okay.
in the sound a little bit.
Yeah.
A little. I don't know.
How long ago was this
What?
that you played on it?
Just recently, or just this past month?
Oh, you played last month?
Yeah, and I think it was a concert grand. You know,
Wow.
At the church.
Okay.
It was a lovely thing to play, and it played really well.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I sat down and just immediately started playing. I didn't warm up or nothing on it.
Okay.
And I thought it was good. It wouldn't be my go-to choice.
Right.
I feel in more recent decades, the last two anyway,
Yeah.
I think Hawaii maybe has jumped ahead of the pack
Oh, I'm sure it
for
has.
Asia.
Oh,
Especially
absolutely.
to get to play Shigeru.
Shigeru,
Come
yeah.
on. That, frankly, is, you in some ways can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
I like Börsendorfer's most of the time. Steinway in America is making some really lovely pianos now, again.
Yeah.
And if I had to say, I probably prefer them in general to the German ones. Only because the German Steinways are so bright.
Yeah.
Most of the time they make them that way.
Yeah.
And I had a very, I'll shut up after this. I had an interesting experience with a friend of mine, Udo Steingraeber, who's a manufacturer of pianos in Bayreuth, an old piano manufacturer, Steingraeber, who was the last pianos that Liszt supported and played and loved.
Yeah.
They're the official piano for the Bayreuth Festival and all that. And Steingraeber has done some wonderful things with his grand pianos. The real, like, new innovative techniques and things that they're doing with the instruments. And he actually called me in. It was really cool because I used to go visit his factory when I was there, and I just talk about things because I grew up being inside the piano factory geek because my dad was a technician, and he took me along all the time to hear him tune pianos and voice them and do all kinds of crap. So I got all that stuff in my ears. Plus, I played them a lot, and I care about them that much. So Steingraeber actually asked me a few times to come in and advise him about voicing and playing, repetition and things in the mechanism and stuff. And he incorporated some of that stuff into his designs back in the, when would that have been, the later 90s when I was there. And then I was in Colorado, and he came to visit Chris Finger, who was a piano seller in Niwot, Colorado, just above Boulder. And he came bounding out of his office down and says, hey, you know, I had the greatest success at the big festival in Germany. Steingraeber makes wonderful pianos. But what was interesting is the last time that I was there before I left Bayreuth, he had 5 pianos lined up, almost finished. They had to do the voicing and also a little bit of regulation work to finish it. Basically, they're near the finishing degree. We had 5 of them lined up, and they were for different clients. He had 2 of them that he was going to send to America to Chris Finger. and he wanted to use me as the American guy,
Ah.
like what I would like in the sound and how it would play. And then I played another one or two that he had made for the German audience, or client, or whoever he was making it for. It was interesting. I felt there was a little more depth in what I preferred, more range of movement, and thus
Yeah.
bigger possibilities for dynamic
Nice.
range.
Yeah.
The German one, I remember in particular one of them, the attack was more superficial, more on towards the top of the key. Than it was more like you could play a little bit more on the top.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it didn't go all the way through, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was more immediate reaction, so you needed to be more sensitive at the very beginning. But then also the tone was, to me, is a little Hamburg Steinway-ish. There was that kind of initial fundamental glassy ping to
Yeah.
it. And I decided I don't like that so much in the modern piano. It's interesting because the whole oral concept is based upon the old Viennese piano sound,
Yeah.
which is more about fundamental, you know, than it
Yeah.
is about the aftertones,
Yeah.
you know, which is what the French and the English went towards more. Throughout the 19th century, I mean, especially if they kept the Prellmechanik in the piano, which is more an attack which really pronounces the fundamental part of the sound you hear, rather than the overtones, that's consistent in a lot of German instruments through a good part of the 19th century in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
Where the French and the English, and then the Americans in certain ways with the Steinway especially, started to move towards bloom and color.
Yeah.
And then Steinway, you know, moves away from straight strung pianos to cross stringing and also crossing the grains on the soundboard. So you get this kind of central area of great amplitude in the piano, but also the option of then mixing all these colors and things together in the middle of the instrument. It becomes more like a French painter's palette where you can mix these colors and things together. The sacrifice you make is you lose clarity in voice singing and range and stuff. For example, when I played the Brahms First Sonata, you know, Brahms remained faithful to the straight-strung piano through his life. His last instrument when he died was a straight-strung Streicher in his house. I had been playing it on, you know, more or less modern Steinways.
Yeah.
And in the it's interesting because some people feel that the first piano sonata is his first attempt to write a symphony.
Yes.
But he didn't have the balls to write it for orchestra because Beethoven is like hanging above it, right? There are parts like in the development of the first movement and frankly the theme variations of the slow movement, the second movement, are very orchestral. It's almost like when you're playing, especially earlier to earlier mid Beethoven, you can hear him writing for string quartet on the piano.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Especially in the minuet and scherzo or minuet trio kind of thing. It sounds very string quartet-y, the way it's written, right? The Brahms sounds very orchestrally conceived on the piano. Well, the interesting thing is, of course, in both the development section and the second movement, you have to do what you do with the modern piano, which is depend on who's the most important to less important, and learn how to balance those voices so you bring out the one that you really want people to hear. I played it on a big Bösendorfer and an older one, and I'd never noticed it before, but except for the bass strings, which kind of just head over a little bit.
Yeah.
This instrument was almost straight strung.
Huh.
Definitely from the top all the way down to maybe say the last octave and a half, or not even 2 octaves.
Yeah.
And it was a really interesting experience because the voicing in the development and in the variation parts of the second movement, I didn't have to balance anything.
Wow.
They just
They just sort of did it
And I'm not
themselves.
saying it was boring.
Yeah.
Like, you just played itself. No, but it voiced itself so easily. Like when you write for a symphony orchestra and you have all those winds playing with each other, and the nature of their timbre comes out, and all this. It was a very interesting experience, and you could hear so much more. Obviously, this is an orchestral piece that Brahms, chickened out and wrote for piano.
Yeah.
He did the same thing with his first piano concerto.
It
was a piano.
Yes, it started out with a
right?
2-piano work, and then he decided to make it an orchestral work, and then at the end, he made it a concerto.
Still wasn't ready to commit to that symphony yet.
Yeah, not quite ready.
Okay, I hope it's okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
You were talking about your piano.
Oh yeah, the Goldberg Variations, performed by Freddie Kemp. I must say, it is a very intriguing performance.
Good for him.
A very intriguing performance. It is not at all Glenn Gouldish.
I was wondering about
the
that.
whole thing.
Good for him.
Nothing Glenn Gouldish about this recording, and it strikes you at first hearing. The very first track when he plays the opening theme, it is nothing what you would expect. I mean, a lot of pianists are influenced by the Glenn Gould recordings, right?
Yeah.
This one, not so much. This one, hardly at all. Particularly in the final variation, the quadlibet at the end, before. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. When he gets to the end of the quadlibet, it almost melts right into the theme.
Oh.
There's no pause. It just sort of melts right into it.
Wow.
It's amazing. And I tell you, this recording touched me. You know what? I want you to listen to it and tell me what you. I want you to listen to it. I want you to. I want to hear from you what you think about it.
I really love the Goldberg Variations. I've never had the courage to perform them.
Yeah.
Either have I. But yeah, they are a testament to a pianist's abilities, but they're really remarkable in that. Maybe this is generally true of Bach. Yeah. Bach is so incredibly available for flexible interpretation and understanding, and in so many ways. Because there's, of course, Glenn Gould, but another recording I love for harpsichord is Scott Ross.
Yes,
it's wonderful.
I know. I have a recording of him.
And then I have an older French lady who's actually the grandmother of a Belgian cellist that I know. He gave me a recording that she did. And it's a lovely performance. It's very intimate, very nice on the piano, very well done. Glenn Gould, it's an astonishing performance. It remains
absolutely
one of the great interpretations of any piece in history.
Which one do you like better, the 55 or the 82?
Oh, 55.
55.
82 is now a different, totally different, maybe more reflective.
Yeah.
But
the 55 has so much youth to it. The joys and
I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of a product of the times in a kind of way, the youth, the beatnik period, which is maybe then and later, and the beginning of drug use and stuff, things like that. That piece is an out there kind of performance.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. But it's unique. And I don't think in general it's the go-to example for most people.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
No, yeah.
It's an exception because, it's like Arthur Rubinstein said, but when people brought in these young fellas to, you got to hear this guy. He's the second Rachmaninoff, second Paderewski. Very smart answer from Rubinstein is, well, the world has already heard Paderewski and Rachmaninoff. What does he have to say?
Exactly.
I used to have that issue with singers
that
I work with, especially at the graduate level, and one can understand, they're still learning to control their instrument, and they don't have a clue as to what to do in terms of interpretation, and it's hard necessarily to coach them because they don't have full enough grasp of their technique to really make things work all yet. So what do? They listen to Pavarotti, they listen to Baldy, they listen to somebody, and do what they do, with the idea that, and it's not such a bad thing because it's an old European kind of style too, is you just simply copy a master, and therefore there you've got some kind of an interpretation and a performance. As you get wiser and more experienced, you can perhaps break away from it.
Exactly.
But I always thought that was so dull. Because sometimes they'd say, well, but that's not what that's not how they do it in the recording.
Oh, I hate that comment.
I know. That used to set me off.
I can't stand that comment.
But they were.
Or this is what Horowitz does.
Yeah.
That's, so you think you can't argue with that or something. I mean, it's one thing to be influenced by it.
Inspired.
But, inspired or influenced by it. But, to copy, and think, or even think you're copying, and then they say, well, Horowitz did it.
Well, it's an interesting thing because I think that's the difference. We were talking more recently about the beginning of the Chinese pianists emerging into the world stage versus now.
Yeah.
I think, and this is a very Asian concept, coming from traditional Oriental art, you would know this as martial arts. You do everything exactly as your teacher teaches you. Your teacher is the role model. And, like in the famous Kung Fu show, he gets to the point where he is the perfect student to the teacher, but he's figured out how to step a little bit beyond him in terms of his ability, or not defeating him, but guarding against something that he did, and therefore his teacher can't touch it. And at that point, he grabs the urns, burns himself, and walks out into the world.
Yeah, but he has to snatch the pebble first.
Yeah, there you go. He snatched the pebble. That was it. He snatched the pebble. That's right. And it's a good thing. But in the Japanese tradition, it's interesting. It's like getting a doctoral degree.
Yeah.
Once you get that black belt and you're right up there, with the teacher and everything like that, and he decides, okay, I have nothing else to teach you. You're ready to get out there. But the expectation is you're still going to do something new in your dojo.
And you're still
You will establish yourself as a new model of possibilities and things like that. There has to be something you do which adds to the whole thing, rather than just being, a copy pigeon kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
But the thing that used to drive me nuts, too, when I lived in Japan for a period of time way back then, similar kind of thing, was more copycatting.
Yeah.
What they understood is the Western way of playing the music or doing the music. I remember one time I threw a pillow at the television because there's this male cellist playing the Rachmaninoff G minor cello sonata, and a lady playing the piano to accompany him. And they got really good British quality stuff on Japanese TV. Their NHK is like the BBC.
Yeah.
And I was so angry because the climax of the second movement is not in the cello. It's in the piano.
Are we talking slow movement?
Rachmaninoff, slow movement.
Third.
Rachmaninoff's G minor cello sonata.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's number 2 they refer to it or something. But anyway, whatever. But it's all these massive Rachmaninoff chords, fortissimo, stuff like that coming through and everything. And he's playing basically an obligato thing. Da 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 da. It's not even a melody. And what did she do? Well, she's the accompanist.
Yeah.
She sublimated her part in favor of him just sawing away. Da 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 da. Because why? Because he's the soloist.
Yeah.
Complete misunderstanding because of these visual conceptions of what it means to be the soloist and be the accompanist. You know, I heard that sometimes in voice concerts.
Oh yeah.
Schubert? I mean, if there's any wonderful marriage of voice and piano, it's in Schubert songs.
Yeah.
But for it to sound more like Mozart songs, where Schubert is singing his melody, and the piano's just going dinky 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 dink 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 dinky dink, or even in profound, what one thing is dramatic music.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. That used to just irritate the bejeebers out of me.
Oh gosh, that
Because
would be too.
I was doing some teaching with it. I was like, this is my culture, this is my music, and I'm telling you, this is how it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the soloists and this whole idea of the cross cultures is like, yeah, but in the social standing, he's higher than she is, and you can never be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mean to be. I'm not racist, and I'm not being prejudicial that way. It's just, wow, it was so hard to cross culture.
Yes,
to really get to go. Now I have to say though, when you hear these new Korean and Chinese pianos come out, it's fabulous.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful music making.
No kidding.
They seem to have really made the crossover or something.
Yep,
really
they did.
Get it. And I think part of it is now Yuja Wang and who's the other one?
Long.
Both studied with Gary Graffman.
Graffman. Yeah.
And we talked about this in the recent show, is
we
that
did.
when China opened to, okay, we're going to compete with the West and all that, most of the piano teachers that first came in there were from the Soviet school.
Yeah.
Russian Soviet pianists. Not Rachmaninoff Golden Tone era. Not even Neuhaus.
Right.
This kind of Soviet idea, and we've talked about that. You know me enough. God love Ashkenaz, and everything he did, what he could do, and everything else. But for me, not a go-to pianist, at least in terms of the great, beautiful tradition of playing.
Okay.
It's just really powerful and steely and mechanical and aggressive, And I don't like that kind of music made. Because Rubinstein doesn't play that way. Rubinstein is very ballsy, very full, very romantic and big. But I never feel like he's like taking a hammer to smash on the head. Like, it has to be like this. He does it in such a beautifully persuasive way,
Okay.
And then I've evolved, I would say, to, one of my favorites nowadays is Friedman.
Ineos.
Which is a totally different kind of playing, But there I go. I'm Mr. Commentator on this poor boy.
That's okay.
Everything he introduces. I'm sorry.
All right, now the next item here, Violetta Egorova.
Looks good.
It looks good. Okay, this is a new pianist for me. I've never heard of this person.
I'd watch her.
You'd watch her.
Once, probably.
Oh gosh. Okay, so judging from the cover, this is one of the older CDs. Okay, this goes back quite a bit. Violetta Egorova, born in '69. She's from Russia. Started lessons at 4. At 6 years old, made her debut on television, performing Schumann's children's album. That's at 6 years old. She won first place at the Alessandro Casagrande in Italy, second place in the International Viotti in Italy. Have you heard of Viotti?
Yeah.
Viotti. You've heard of it?
Yeah.
Is he a pianist?
No, I thought it was
Violinist. That's what I thought. But why did they use his name as an international piano competition?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, that's what
I
I
thought Viotti had, because he wrote violin concertos.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, maybe we could try to figure it out. Maybe he did play.
Maybe she was a great accompanist at the competition.
Oh, it says here second place, international piano competition. So
maybe she played the Paganini Etudes on the piano.
Could be.
She plays better than any of the violinists right here.
Perhaps. Anyways, Lev Naumov of the Moscow State Conservatory was her primary teacher. And today, she teaches at the Rachmaninoff Academy in Italy. I didn't know they had a
She's got a
academy
big
in Italy.
Italian
So she has a big,
connection there, right?
so she has a fairly
Good for her.
decent, successful career.
Uh-huh.
On this CD, it says, well, it's called Violetta Egorova, big letters, and below it, it says Piano Favorites.
Uh-huh.
In the program notes, she says that Mozart and Prokofiev are her two favorite composers. And that's what's on the CD. The first 6 tracks are 2 Mozart sonatas, and they're both in F major. Number 2 F major, Kerschel 280, and number 12 F major,
The famous
Kerschel
one.
332.
Yeah.
The second half, from tracks 7 through 16, are Prokofiev, and they are the 10 pieces from Romeo and Juliet,
Whoa.
Opus 75.
Wow.
Have you ever dabbled with those?
No.
No. Oh, they're
You?
wonderful pieces. They're
Yeah.
wonderful pieces.
I've heard
Some,
someone played, especially what was the Oranges or something?
Love for the Three Oranges,
Yeah.
the Scherzo, and the March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these pieces, they're very attractive. They're if Prokofiev had studied composition with Chopin, maybe even Schumann, he'd sound something like this.
Huh?
They're not as wide ranging and all encompassing like some of the piano sonatas. It's much more, has more of a poetic temperament, if anything. Like it says, there's 10 pieces in it. I like the pieces. My first introduction to these pieces was Bela Davidovich.
Davidovich?
Yeah, her recording of it.
She's great.
Yeah.
Rubinstein was a great fan of hers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, it was her that played them. Then I heard a recording of Andrei Gavrilov performed them. And
He was a Van Cliburn winner kind of thing, wasn't he?
Tchaikovsky winner.
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. They Harold C. Schoenberg touts him as having sort of these Horowitz type instincts. So
I remember him.
yeah, and he's part of the roster of the great pianists of the 20th century from the Phillips.
Really?
So he's got
Gavrilov?
Gavrilov.
Oh.
Yeah. So somewhere out there, somebody might have a recording of Martha Argerich performing these pieces.
Really?
Yeah. She said, according to David Dubal, he says that he saw her perform them in recital, and he says they were very ravishing.
Prokofiev?
Prokofiev's the Romeo and Juliet. She's actually had them in her program for some time, but hasn't. I don't think there's a recording of her.
Speaking about Martha Argerich, just in passing, I saw a little news thing. I don't know if I sent it to you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Ellen Grimaud,
Ellen Grimaud? Yeah.
is as old as she is now. She's 57. Did you know she's 57?
Ellen Grimaud
Well,
was
that's what it said in
57.
the article. She 57 really? Because that's not that much. Well, it's younger than me, but
Yeah.
I think that's Laura's age.
Ellen Grimaud is 50.
Maybe there was a mistake, but I thought it said 57. Anyway, she was sick. Forget what the performances was she was going to do with orchestra.
Yeah.
But guess who stepped in for her?
Argerich?
Last minute like that. And they said, well, she's going to play this and this. And orchestras are, okay. She stepped in like that and played both of the concertos.
Oh, jeez.
84-year-old lady replaced each.
See, this is what I'm talking about. When I was talking about the Pathetique Sonata and the Moonlight Sonata, they could probably, you tell Argerich that. He says,
Can you imagine that?
Okay, he says, this is a freebie.
I feel really lucky because I got to know her when I was pretty young. When Robin and I were for my ex-wife.
No, which one, Grimaud or Argerich?
No, Argerich.
Argerich. Okay.
For Christmas present. Wow, it was a big. Well, at least that year.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in the same year.
Yeah.
But at least the one year. We would always go visit her mom and dad.
Yeah.
Because her dad was based in New Jersey, across the marshes from Manhattan. He had a church there. And they bought us tickets to Carnegie Hall. It was really cool. It was the Boston Symphony Orchestra with Seiji Ozawa.
Oh, jeez.
Visiting New York and playing in
Doesn't
Carnegie
get better
Hall.
than that.
Boston Symphony. I mean, Boston Symphony, one of America's oldest and really most aristocratic orchestras with Ozawa. and they played the Einheldenleben of Richard Strauss.
Oh,
Incredible.
jeez.
But actually, what they started with was a Prokofiev Third Concerto with
Argridge.
Argerich. It was amazing. It was so exciting and so wonderful, and she was so wonderful to watch. She's, the playing was so electrifying and so wonderful. She's famous for that.
Oh yeah,
concerto.
that one. Yeah.
But again,
Among other things. Yeah.
she wasn't like bouncing all over the place and doing stuff.
Oh no.
She's relatively quiet when she was
yeah.
playing and everything. She's a big girl. I remember being a little taller and, strongly built. Not fat or anything,
Yeah.
of course, and she's got some hands on her.
Oh yeah.
She's, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The girl's made to play the piano. Totally.
Oh gosh, yeah. So, anyways, Violetta Egorova. It's a decent recording.
So you have listened to it?
I have already listened to it, the whole thing. I must say, she, judging from the recording, she definitely favors the Prokofiev in this recording. The Mozart, very delicate.
Yeah?
Very delicate, but also somewhat careful.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the one thing I missed as far as the Mozart, the joy, in the music. It's not. I mean, anyways, that's what I gathered from the recording. Now she's still around today. I went and ventured into YouTube to find what she's doing these days, and some of the videos she has been performing the Rachmaninoff Second, and then another one she's doing the Heroic Polonaise, and her technique is much more strong.
This one?
Stronger? No, today.
Oh.
It's much stronger today.
Uh-huh.
She's but it's also sounds like it's a basic walk in the park, like she's done it before.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I gathered from the performances. But anyways, it's a decent recording. It's decent. Like I said, the Prokofiev she seems to favor a lot in this. So, anyways, if I have any more stuff, and I do have some more stuff at home from this book sale.
Oh.
So I didn't bring it all because I haven't, looked at it yet. I just found it. Now, okay. If you guys know us, we used to do these featured composer segments. And I had planned on doing Mettner today, but I'm not that well prepared.
Okay.
This guy is very difficult to nail down. I have some information on the guy. It's a lot. It's a lot. As a matter of fact, I have all of these note cards concerning Mettner. I've never had to put in so much information on note cards on a composer on our show before. But this, it took a lot. Okay? So all this here is about Mettner. There's must be about 10 of these cards in here right now. But I would like to reserve this for another day. This is going to be a big conversation. Come back for it. It was some of the stuff I found out about this guy is very eye-opening. So you got some stuff here, I'm told.
I got some stuff.
Okay, so he's been doing some high plains thrifting as well.
You remember this book from last week?
Yes, I do.
Read that right there.
Read where?
On the side.
On the side? Okay, it says here, February 26th, for Elmer with affection and admiration. Oh, Mark. Oh, jeez, Mark.
So I saw how enthusiastic you were about the book, and you talked about reading it and everything, borrowing it from the library. This is that Dover copy of that lady's interviews, compilation of 3 different books she wrote, where she interviews all these historically numero uno pianists over a 20 or 30 year period altogether. And Harriet Brower is her name?
Harriet Brower.
Yeah. And I found another copy on Thrift Books, so
Oh, gosh.
I
Well,
got
thank
that
you,
one
Mark.
from you. You're welcome.
I appreciate it so
I saw
much.
it. I thought-
Oh, my gosh.
I thought, well, he should have a copy of that.
Wow.
It's very interesting, really.
Oh, it is very
Because in
interesting.
some cases,
from what
like I was
remember.
saying with the interview with Brailovsky,
Brailovsky.
there's next to no biographical information on the internet about this guy.
No, there's not.
And he was a highly regarded pianist, especially more so in Europe in a way.
Yeah.
And famous, as far as I know, in the early 20th century as having done the first complete Chopin cycles.
Yeah.
You know, and he did that a few times in his career. The first year that he did it, he kind of did some major cities in the world and did,
Yep.
I forget how many recitals, it was 6 to 8 recitals. And it was everything Chopin wrote.
Wow.
And you know, quite well known. He came to Carnegie Hall that first year.
Yeah.
He did it and played in America. But I think he was basically based in France, wasn't he? He was from the Ukraine.
Okay. Yeah.
But,
That's what I thought.
but
Okay.
he lived there. But anyway, there's at least an interview in there with him where he talks about music and things like that. And it's just nice to hear his voice because I mean, you have his recordings, what there is.
You do.
And interestingly, not a ton. Not like some other people. So it's interesting because sometimes, well, what we do anyway, right? We're looking at that whole iceberg, we often say, and trying to bring people's voices back to life.
Yeah.
And make people aware of them and all this kind of thing. And
Yeah.
this book is really cool because
It's very cool.
she does that in a way. And like I said in the show, she was quite well known, and these people were willing to talk with her and work with her because she had a reputation back in the day of being kind of almost like Barbara Walters. You know? Barbara Walters, the newest, youngest people that who's that? Well, but we know who she was,
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah, we
a
do.
famous television media journalist, famous for her interviews. She managed to secure, famously, some historically significant interviews with people in her years working where nobody else could get them, but people would talk to Barbara Walters. And apparently in this case, pianist felt very comfortable sitting down with her and talking, and Rachmaninoff is even quite, I think you read an excerpt anyway, but Rachmaninoff is very, what would I say, pointedly critical
Oh, yeah.
of the American piano training system.
Yeah, to say
At the
least.
time anyway. He's just saying, it's just a totally different world here than it is in Russia, and the way Russians are trained and what they're doing here in America. And I think it's interesting because, you know, he died in 43 or something.
1943.
And Juilliard
March.
was set up in early to mid-30s in New York, and the Levines were in charge of that. I'm not sure he would have gotten a ton of time and experience to hear what would develop in the United States from that influence. I mean, Juilliard was only around 12 to 15 years before Rachmaninoff died. But I do think when he's talking about earlier stuff, yeah, we really didn't have anything established yet at the time. There was because anybody, you know, what it used to be, people go study with Franz Liszt, you know, play once or twice, or sit in his master classes, then come back and put up their piano teacher tile and say student of Franz Liszt.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, right. You know. So anyway, I hope you
Thank
like
you
the
so
book.
much. Oh,
I've
I
been reading snatches of the interviews and stuff. It's pretty cool.
It is very cool.
So I've been getting a few different things, and this is a variation on a theme in a way.
Okay.
Since I talked about the recent correspondence with Mr. Bilson,
Yes.
and I was listening to some of his stuff,
Uh-huh.
I was trying to look for some other things. I found a couple things that were very cheap, because this was like $6 mailed.
Oh, not bad.
This is the later Viennese sonatas for violin and forte piano, with Mr. Bilson playing a copy of Mozart's own piano, and Sergio Luca, the Italian violinist, playing, I think it's a Stradivarius, but it's unchanged from like 17 1730 or 1740s.
Yeah.
It's not a modernized one when they start to change the violin or the string instruments in the 19th century to create better amplitude and all that for the big halls. And I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but I read the reviews. I had no idea that Mozart wrote so many sonatas for
violin, piano.
Holy crap. He started when he was 8 years old and apparently wrote like 16 of them.
Yeah.
And then apparently there's another 16 of them from his mature life.
Yeah.
But there's like over 30 sonatas from. But why? Because his dad was a famous violinist, right?
Yeah.
They probably played a lot of stuff together. It's not a very much to look at CD. And as I said, it just arrived in the morning about an hour before Elmer got here.
Really?
So I haven't had a chance to listen yet. But it's Mr. Bilson and Sergio Luca playing 3 of the late Vienna sonatas. But there's no, it's a white album. It's the white album.
Yeah.
There's no pictures or nothing. There is a booklet inside, but the writing, Elmer, forget it. Go ahead and look at it. It's so tiny.
Why is it?
It's so tiny here. Look, how tiny is it? Can you read it with this?
Holy crap! Wait a minute.
I had to use my magnifying glass.
Holy moly!
Open it up. They got a lot of
microscopic, folks.
They got information in there, but you're gonna need
Here,
special glasses.
What's this? Look at this. The printing on the inside. Now I'm holding this like 6 inches away from the lens.
Yeah.
This is really small.
Yeah.
Look at that. This is what it is.
One might assume it's possibly a budget consideration.
Holy. Oh.
I don't know, but I just I kind of gotten back into remembering Mr. Bilson. What a magnificent musician he is.
Oh yeah.
All the things he did. I will put up, if I didn't, in the last show, I don't remember if I did this or not, but I listened to him, and I actually wrote him again, briefly, he hasn't written back.
Yeah.
But I looked at his, okay, thanks.
Sure.
I looked at his Cornell University instrument collection thing. He's playing an 1857 Johannes Streicher, straight string piano, and doing the Opus 118 number 2 intermezzo of Brahms. You know that one?
Yeah.
It's a lovely performance. And it's very illuminating on the piano. This was the kind of instrument that Brahms himself had and used at home to play and compose on and everything. It's an extremely intimate and very warm performance. I play it in a special way. People really remark how much they love the way I play that piece. But I do things with it to make it work, I think, on it. Because I think, ya da da dee da da, da 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 dee da. It's so boring.
Yeah.
I make it a little bit like there's something in Walter, ya da dee, ba da dee, ya da da dee da da bottom, and then the slumming, ya da dee da, you know, the B section. Yeah. I just feel there's rubato, there's things necessary to bring it out, and then with the repeats again, there's a lot of left hand stuff that I bring out the second time.
Yeah.
You know.
Of course.
And it works very well in the piece. I actually played it one time in a concert down in Lexington, Kentucky, and a bunch of audience people came up afterwards, after the concert was done, and they came up and they said, "Would you please play the Brahms 118 one more time?"
Oh.
And so I sat down and I played it, and they all hovered around the piano. There's like 10 of them. They really wanted it. And it was a very interesting experience because then some of them, I don't know if they're piano teachers or they themselves really passionate or something. Never really quite had an experience like that, but they said, how do you do what you're doing like in that B section and stuff? And I actually gave a tiny master class on how I do those interpretations in the piece. But anyway, Mr. Bilson's performance is wonderful. I think if I didn't mention that in the last show, or even if I did, since I'm jabbering about it now, I'll put up a link to the YouTube video for that performance. I got another book.
And here we go.
And these things I really didn't pay too much money for. They're all from Thrift Books in Texas. This one was highly recommended. And it's like, I need another book on Franz Liszt. But I got it anyway. Because this is a British guy who's quite highly regarded.
Yes, he is.
You've heard of him. And I've seen other things by him.
Yes.
But this is Derek Watson's biography of Franz Liszt.
And this was actually recommended to me as good reading by Leslie Howard.
Oh,
so
good.
It's even been endorsed by Leslie Howard.
Wow.
Derek Watson.
And I think I picked that thing up for $7 or something like that.
Not bad.
You know, if you buy enough books from them, they do free shipping.
Wow.
So, and because I'm a literati elite member, I get free books and stuff with it.
Look at that. You've got here, he's authored Bruckner and Richard Wagner.
Yeah. I associate him. Actually, I've got the other book reserved on my list.
Which one?
Of his Wagner book.
His Wagner book?
Because that was highly recommended too.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. He's even got an endorsement from Alan Walker.
Wow.
Alan Walker. You know who Alan Walker is, folks? Holy
one
moly.
Of his three, I think he wrote 3 books
on
Franz Liszt.
And the third one he redid.
Oh.
So
that might explain the price.
Yeah.
Because even on thrift books, they are a blue fortune. I mean, one of them is $63 for the book.
Yeah.
Now, that probably means it's out of print or...
Yeah.
But, whatever. But I should have bought them years ago. But right now, they're like, no, screw it. I'm not going to do it. So,
excellent.
Then we moved from Liszt into Wagner.
Okay.
And you remember the 19th century book, Musicology by Karl Dahlhaus, that I mentioned last week.
Yeah, what about
the Dahlhaus book?
You found
Dahlhaus, well, no, I got it. Remember, I brought it and showed it last show.
All right.
Dahlhaus, Dahlhaus, was a mover and shaker in modern musicology, one might say, going back into the 50s, I think, and forward, definitely in the 60s. By then, he had quite a reputation, and, Berkeley Press from the University of California, that book is printed by the University of California, Berkeley, and considered one of the great books on 19th century musicological thinking at the time. He writes it's very interesting. I mean, it's really detailed and really German, a way of communicating, and yet, what would I say? It's very elucidating and illuminating ways of guiding you through a composition and how it works and the structure and what's going on, and with issues of musical aesthetics has evolved, and the historical and cultural aspects of what's going in the music and how that's different from other things. But then when he writes biographically, people have said that he wrote in such a way that it feels very intimate about the composer way,
Yeah.
He had a profound influence on contemporary musicology in the world. So I had in my doctoral program at Boulder, William Carnes, Kerns, was the head of the musicology department at the time, and he was in his last year. He was going to retire the year that I graduated. He was also had helped create the American Music Library that's significant in the whole country, up at the University of Colorado Boulder, upstairs in their library. Massive collection of compositions in the history of music writing in the United States from back in the colonial days.
Wow.
And forward, especially a lot of earlier and mid 19th century stuff, Civil War things and stuff. It's an incredible collection. I asked him to be on my committee. There were 5 professors. His ended up being the hardest paper to write of the 5 written comprehensive exam things, because it was on musical aesthetics,
right?
Which I had studied a bit with him, and he had me read a lot more. Musical aesthetics, what are you going to say about it? Musical aesthetics is... Aesthetics, as a philosophy, is basically trying to answer the question, what is beautiful? What makes something beautiful? And that's not as simple as it might sound. Of course, it's philosophy, I think, so it makes it difficult.
Yeah.
But there's been some great writers who've written about it over time, and maybe unintentionally at the beginning, but where it eventually did really grow into a real discipline, a real subject.
Uh-huh.
And Dahlhaus was one of the important influences in writing about it, in that he brought a more modern perspective in the way of looking at music. I wouldn't say it's necessarily neutral, but it's definitely not Donald Francis Tovey, which is an older British way of looking at it, which Susan McClary, as a feminist musicologist, really tore him apart because of his, saying this that a 4/1 cadence in Tchaikovsky is feminine and a 5/1 cadence in Beethoven is masculine, and the dominant tonic cadence is stronger, which I would agree with in terms of frequency. But then he made these assumptions that Tchaikovsky preferred the 4/1 cadence because he was gay. And, he wasn't quite the manly man like Beethoven. He couldn't bring it home, you know what I mean? And McClary takes him to task and other things over time. But anyway, I got this book, very cheap. I don't know, it was a few bucks. But I remember reading some things from this as well.
Oh, wow.
And this is a small book, but very important in terms of what he contributes to musical aesthetics in general from that time, which was in the 60s. But it's called The Aesthetics of Music. Okay?
Wow. I'll go show.
Yeah.
There it is. Dahlhaus.
So this guy actually had, I don't know, I'm just remembering some things from my education, my influences and stuff. Carl Dahlhaus, through some of my teachers, introducing me to him, was pretty influential. The way Malcolm Bilson really affected me in ways as well. All right, so here's another Dahlhaus thing. I didn't realize this at first until I read about him. He with a guy, there's an interesting name, a guy named John Deathbridge.
Deathbridge.
No, sorry, Deathridge.
Deathbridge. Still.
Sounds
Da,
Deathbridge.
da, da.
Yeah, da da da. Sounds like one of them places where a lot of Union soldiers died in the Civil War. Deathridge. Anyway, he writes the biographical material, and Carl Dahlhaus writes a very elucidating description of the compositional process and the music of Richard Wagner. And this is part of the series. They actually wrote the essay for the 1980 New Grove. Cool. And then at the time, Grove released all these composer bios as separate books from the encyclopedia. This is the very same thing that would be in the encyclopedia under Richard Wagner. But of course, it's in a book, which I have the whole thing. I bought it at the Early Music Festival in Boston one year during my doctorate. But it's nice to have the book. And that's not new. That's been on my shelf, but I pulled it out because it was Dahlhaus.
It's still cool.
Yeah. And then I have, lastly, this is really cool. You know the American writer Joseph Horowitz?
Yes.
Yeah, music writer.
Yeah.
Well, this is really cool.
And this Wagner Nights.
Yeah, an American history. This is cool. He tells about the early influence of Wagner on American musical society by way of the conductor Anton Seidl.
Oh!
Right? Anton Seidl was the director of the New York Philharmonic way back when. I think before Gustav Mahler came over for a while, did it. But Seidl was one of the big influences on American music. And he brought Wagner over. And interestingly, the great fandom for Wagner back in the later 19th century were upper class ladies from all the big, wealthy, powerful families. Seidl would do these, I don't think they were outdoor, but they were at a big auditorium. I think in what is now called what is it called? Something Russian Beach or something Russian something. It's a Russian neighborhood out by the water on a beach area in New York. I forget what the name of the area is called. I'll look it up. But it was in a massive place. There's like 3,000 seats that people could come to, and they were packed. And he performed these big Wagner concerts. And so this book is all about this phenomenon of the whole cultural fascination with Richard Wagner, his music, the philosophy, the artistic ideas. I mean, the whole thing. But in an American audience, before the First World War, because the First World War totally changed things in terms of Americans' feeling about German anything. The choir I conducted, the Minor Corps, has been around since 1848, and they're still here, still doing great. But during World War I, they took a bit of a beating because German Village as such, this old German community, very historic and important. They changed the names of places, like Schiller Park for a period of time, became Columbus Park, I think. They got rid of the statue of Friedrich Schiller and put Columbus up. And changed the names of places, and some German people changed their names at that time in order to get by better in American society, because Americans were pissed off after the First World War. They were neutral. 1917, we got dragged into it. Took us a year and a month or a year and 2 months, and we ended the war. Got the Europeans, back, out of all that hell. Came back here. Yeah. And then once again kind of turned our backs on them as due to Republicans. But, that's just what happened. They voted against the League of Nations that Wilson was for and stuff. But there was a very strong, at the time of the First World War, and for a period afterward, intense anti-German backlash, which really affected things. And historically, right here in Columbus, we know about it, what happened. But the book is really cool, and I started to read parts of it. Because one of the things that was interesting to me, do you know that when the Metropolitan Opera was founded, which in the 1870s or something like that, I don't know. The bulk of the repertoire in the last 2 decades of the 19th century, going into the 20th century, before Caruso showed up, the Metropolitan Opera House was generally thought of as a Wagner opera house.
Wow.
Nobody would make that assumption now about the Met.
No, they wouldn't.
Because then Caruso shows up and all these great people, Patti, and I don't know, it's too far back. I'm thinking Rosa Poncel, and of course thereafter. Verdi, Puccini becomes a huge deal, Geraldine Ferrar and all that. But I have a book. I think my opera books are down there. Okay. But it's about the early history of the Met, and it was predominantly German music. That's what we were doing. And the really cool thing is, because of that, when Toscanini, for 1 year, and it was like in the 1930s sometime, around the time of Hitler, I don't know, it was 31. I think Siegfried was still alive. And he invited Toscanini to come over and direct Parsifal at, this is like Toscanini, Parsifal, Bayreuth, right?
Right.
Like, whoa, major historical moment. He was rehearsing the music, and he brought his scores with him, and I forget what it was, where it is in it, but he was conducting, and then he stops, tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
Where is the da-da-da-da-da-da-da? And it was some kind of a bass instrument. I don't know if it was the Wagner tuba or what it was that he wanted, but something that they weren't even in the orchestra pit. Where is it? Because I'm not hearing it. Where is it? And they come down and say, Maestro, what's the problem? He says, right here. It's in the score. Right here. Your father did this, right? The really cool thing is Toscanini had his hands on an old score from the later 19th century, which had come over from Germany, not legally, because after Parsifal was performed,
Yeah.
Bayreuth had exclusive rights for 30 years until the early 20th century,
Right.
before anybody could do it anywhere in the
Yeah.
world. However, Toscanini had a score of the original Parsifal that had been done in Germany
Yeah.
before they allowed performances and things got spread around and stuff. This is how we know how the original Parsifal was conceived and how it was done, because subsequently this stuff was missing from the scores that were produced. But because of Toscanini and his single year when he went to Bayreuth, and then he was pissed off at the fascists, I'll never come back to Germany. But he was there, and because of Toscanini and his score, which was brought over from the United States, they were able to restore the original instrumentation of the score in Parsifal because of him. And I love historical things like that. Because again, you were talking about Liszt's second Mephisto Waltz.
The second Mephisto Waltz.
This was lost.
Yeah.
And then there was a problem I remember differently. But Wagner had come up, I forget, it's not the Wagner tuba. It's somehow a bell-like thing that he had made, which I think is made somehow like a piano, but it bass strings, and they that they do, and I think it's a Parsifal thing.
Wow.
It was created and invented for the performance. The original ones, was it, or something like that, were destroyed in the Second World War, and somebody had saved one, or they were able to rebuild them again from designs that existed and stuff like that. There have been, unfortunately, some real losses at times because of war or something like that in our time, in the second 20th century, where things were known, but they disappeared. Like the terrible thing that happened in Germany, and if it weren't for Americans, again, in California, all of those Velta Mignon rolls and the pianos, the mechanisms that play them, that factory was absolutely leveled to the ground in the war. It was all gone, everything destroyed. The vaults where they'd saved all of the rolls and everything, burned up everything.
Boy, that's...
The American and Allied bombing near the end of the war just leveled it. Because I don't know if they had converted the factory to poor purposes or what, but that's it.
Wow.
However, these rich, crazy people in the United States, but especially some guys in California, had the original mechanisms and had collected the rolls over the decades from all these great artists.
Wow,
so the primary historical evidence of the great accomplishments of the Velta Mignon system and the recordings made by Busoni and all these great composers and all these amazing people. I mean, how many recordings are there of Ferruccio Busoni?
Not many.
And the Velta Mignon recreates it in such a way that Mrs. Busoni, after her husband was dead, cried when she heard the Velta Mignon performance. She says, "That's like a Ferruccio played himself. That's the way he played." It's because some collectors have preserved this stuff. That we even have any evidence of it now. And thanks to digital recording, it can be relatively easily released and produced and given back to the world. So, thank God for, look at you and me. All the crap that we save and collect.
No kidding.
It's going to really be useful someday.
Oh, I hope so. I definitely hope so.
I'm really jabbering today, Elmer.
Oh, that's okay. I mean,
But
it's been a couple weeks since our last episode,
Yeah.
and so we tend to collect stuff and have, new insights into new things. Okay, well, folks, can we wrap it up?
Probably.
Okay, all right. Well, if you enjoyed our program today, enjoyed our company, please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family and neighbors all about us and our neat show here. Meanwhile, come back for more. Come back for more. Oh my goodness.
We love doing
Have we got some stuff ahead of you coming to you in the future? Like I said, we have a featured composer Metner talk that we're going to have soon. And guess what else who's coming back?
Uh-oh.
We have to talk about Defia.
Yeah.
You remember what happened to Defia?
Put more wood on the fire.
Well, we could put more foot in Defia, but that disappeared in the vaults.
Really?
That one disappeared. That went with the that other Halloween episode that we did our first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that Mephisto waltz movie.
Oh yeah.
And Defia was on that same episode.
Yeah.
And so I found some new material about Defia in my vaults.
Cool.
So and it's going to be interesting. It's a very intriguing. There's some intriguing material covering Defia, and I am looking forward to sharing that with you.
He's not like saying the fire in a weird way. He's talking about a Spanish composer.
Yeah, Manuel Defia. Okay? For some of you folks out there. Okay, well, please come back again and visit us in our show. Find out what we've been reading. Find out what we've been practicing, what we've been listening to, and come back for some more of our insights. Meanwhile, come back and see.
I'm Mark.
I'm Elmer.
This is Elmer.
And we are Mark
and Elmer's
PSI
Piano Scene Investigations.
Come back.
Bye-bye, everybody. See ya.